Hello, CMC Pilot Program grant recipients. Welcome to NTIA's Office of Internet Connectivity and Growth instructional video series for grant recipients. Today, we're going to show you how to complete the baseline report, which is due once 45 days after your award start date. This report will help us better understand your project goals and plan, so we can best support you in your work to close the digital divide and ensure internet for all. This report should be based on anticipated figures and schedules, so answer each question the best that you can with your current project plan. To help you answer the questions in your baseline report, we recommend first viewing your application documents, including your project narrative, detailed project budget and narrative, and your SF 424A. It's likely been a while since you've looked at these materials. Refreshing your memory and having them handy will help you with the baseline report. Now, let's dive in. We'll be using an example organization and project in this video, but invite you to follow along using the baseline report template. You will fill in your organization's information, including address and unique entity identifier, or UEI. Note, on April 4th, 2022, the unique entity identifier used across the federal government changed from the DUNS, or otherwise known as DUNS number, to the unique entity ID, or UEI. This number is generated by sam.gov and can be found on your organization's sam.gov account. Next, you will fill in the dates for your period of performance, which can be found on your CD 450. Moving on to the project milestone categories. In this section, you will make projections for completing the milestones applicable to your project over the course of the grant. For each milestone category applicable to your project, fill in what percentage of your grant funds you expect to spend by time period until they reach 100%. Here's a tip. The milestones outlined in your project narrative and schedule in your detailed project budget should help you complete this section. Most CMC pilot program recipients have a 2-year period of performance. This information can be found on your CD 450. As you will see, the cadence for milestone projections in the baseline report is semi-annually. If you anticipate that 25% of the equipment procurement will be complete by year 1, period 1, another 25% of the network build will be complete by year 1, period 2, and the remaining half of the network build will be complete by year 2, period 1. Fill out the form as shown, 25%, 55%, 100%. All ensuing sales throughout your period performance should be filled out as 100%. Network design would include any expenditures on setting up a local area network or a wide area network. Equipment procurement would cover any amount you spent on project equipment, including tablets, laptops, printers, desktops, monitors, keyboards, drives, and external hard drives. Network build includes all costs to upgrade or install network access points, switches, and conduits. Broadband deployment covers all costs associated with deploying high-speed fiber connections to schools or libraries. Equipment deployment would include any expenditures on deploying desktop computers, printers, or laptops, as well as transportation and shipping costs. Remote learning would cover any amount spent on expanding distance education via e-learning to rural communities. Anchor community adoption includes all costs related to activities conducted in eligible anchor communities rather than on your institution's campus. Digital skills workforce development training should include all spending concerning training on software development, programming, web, and app development and creating dynamic user experiences. Anything not covered by the previous categories would fall into other, and you would specify what those costs are. So for example, for the example organization, you can see we filled in the different category amounts by period as a percentage, and it all adds up to a total of 100% in row 1A overall project. If some of these categories do not align to your project, please add NA to those associated fields. Again, if you are unsure where to find this information for your report, please refer to your application package documents. Also, your FPO is here to support you in completing this form. Under organizational partners, list any and all organizations that will work with you, the community anchor, to execute your project. These were originally listed in your table of project collaborators in your project narrative. While there are many different types of partners, the three most common organizational partners include 501c3 partners, like a community serving nonprofit, a private entity, like a construction or telecommunications company, and or a government entity, maybe a mayor's office or a county commission. If you selected community anchor institution or community-based organization for any of your listed partner organizations, you will need to explain in section 2B. In section 3A, the remote learning infrastructure section lists every type of technology your project will deploy, including hardware, which are laptops, tablets, routers, and so on, software, word processors, video conferencing, graphic design, and the like, and online platforms, web hosting, payment systems, and so on. So for example, let's fill in some computers, graphic design software, and remote learning digital memberships. Under professional development, list all of your plans to train and develop remote learning infrastructure in IT management, including an on-demand library of professional learning courses, workshops, and one-on-one virtual coaching. You'll want to choose the training type, list the number of participants, and give a full description of the activity. As you fill out the baseline report, keep in mind that all goals, metrics, and partnerships that align you to your project should be reported. If you have an anchor community adoption activities as part of your project, you must complete section 4, anchor community adoption. In this section, list the activities that will take place in eligible anchor community institutions over the course of your project. For instance, this could be upgrading internet services to higher speeds that will allow the anchor community to achieve the necessary bandwidth to accomplish digital skills training or remote learning. Be sure to list the census tract, which you can find at www.census.gov. The target beneficiary, for example, an institution or specific set of community members, and the target output, meaning the expected results from your project. Now on to section 5A, broadband internet and devices. Here, you will list all eligible equipment and devices you plan to lend or provide to students or patrons during the course of your project, if that applies to you. This could include routers, modems, cables, but not mobile phones. This should not overlap with section 3A, where you listed technology acquired to advance remote learning. You will also list all broadband subscriptions acquired, such as a monthly contract with an internet service provider, and broadband deployments, which just means the development of broadband networks or infrastructure through which broadband services can be delivered. Under the recipients column, choose from student, faculty, college, university staff, 501c3 employees, or MBE employees. Section 6 Digital skills and workforce development is where you will list any and all digital skills training and workforce development workshops you anticipate offering over the course of your project. This could include programming, web or app development, digital design, digital project and product development, or any training of staff or faculty in digital skills areas. Be sure to list the title of the training, the number of anticipated participants, the number of actual participants, the participant type, training objectives such as typing, server maintenance, and so on, and whether training objectives were met for now. Put in A since you have not had a chance to give the trainings, but be prepared to report on them when you submit your performance technical reports. Whether college credit will be awarded after completing the training and whether participants will be offered a certificate of completion. Next, all grantees were required to include project results and evaluation as part of their project narrative. All grantees should complete Section 7, Measurement and Evaluation Project Reports. Under Project Purpose, provide a short description of your project's intended results. For each purpose, include its intended benefits, beneficiaries, and plan for evaluating progress towards the results. Each purpose must be measurable. For example, your purpose might be provide enhanced broadband access and remote education access and technology to students most in need. The benefits might be increase equitable access to education for historically underserved students by helping connect remote learners most in need of better access to broadband and remote classroom technology. Beneficiaries might be 200 first-generation low-income and underrepresented minority students. List all the ways your project will be evaluated as a success or benefits provided to beneficiaries. For example, a project that aims to improve online learning on campus through training courses may evaluate success by developing and completing a goal number of courses and by measuring student satisfaction through pre- and post-course surveys. Goals may include 3 courses developed and executed on campus and 85% of students reporting satisfaction with the courses. A project that aims to distribute loaner laptops and hotspots to students may evaluate success by distributing a goal number of devices to students and measuring academic improvement in students who receive laptops. Goals may include 500 laptops and 500 hotspots distributed to students, and 85% of students achieving an increase in GPA over the course of the loaner program. Lastly, certify that all the information listed is correct by listing the name of the authorized certifying official, along with their telephone number and email address. The signatory should be your authorized organization representative. Then the authorized certifying official will sign and date the report. This can be an electronic signature or it can be signed in ink. Once the form is complete, send it to greports@nist.gov and CC your assigned FPO. Thanks for watching, and please don't hesitate to contact your FPO if you have questions. Also, please note that additional training materials, including CMC report instructions, are available on the Broadband USA website.